what's your, and there's no, right answer, wrong answer here. I'm just curious. What's your, in the years that you've been doing this with me, what's your favorite, I don't know, tool or process that we've done together?
Hands down, it's the S.M.A.C.K tool. And we've gotten to the point, and we recognized that you and Shane also recognized it. We had a problem, and we begin this process of analyzing a problem and coming up with a solution, S.M.A.C.K. And it's, symptom, move back away from it, assess it, choose the solution, kick it, and then the exclamation point is who's accountable for it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we began doing a S.M.A.C.K session in a session with you without your help. So our leadership team just instinctively started to smack a problem that came up, and you guys just kind of sat there and were like, hey, Jimmy grew up.
That was awesome. That was really fun. Yes.
So yeah, it was cool. And that's the key, is that you find what works for you and then really work it and become a master of that. Because not every tool that we've been exposed to fits us. But that's your job, is to show the different tools.
Yeah.
Our job is to figure out, all right, which one really fits us, and then become really good at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not married to tools. I am married to your success. And that's why I have to be really bought into your why and your where.
Right.
And be able and feel like, man, can I speak into their how and their what and their who, and be able to get them to see some of the things that, get them to populate this stuff in a really smart, powerful way. So the S.M.A.C.K, it's one of my favorites too. It's hard. It's really one of the hardest to get people to do, though. Or I should say one of the most frustrating, because I'll sit there and watch them, and people typically do this where, and you know what I'm talking about, where they'll just fuss about, so there's this problem. All right, so we tee up a problem, and let's just say we're not making enough money. Let's use something really generic. We're not making enough money. And then all this like fuss and going around the table, and this guy complains, and this guy complains, and this lady complains, and then that one, grandstands for a little while, and then this one politics for a little while, and then that one's like, what's all your fault? And then this one goes, we'll just fire everybody. And it just, and it's just this like fuss session, complaining and griping, and then dominating, and then accusing, and then defending, right? And then we all get really tired, or they all get tired, and they kind of look at each other and like, all right, that was a good meeting, right? It's like, no. And they kind of walk away going, you got that, right? I mean, nobody's got anything, it was just a fight. It was a street fight. And the quiet people smartly held back, and the dominating people predictably dominated. And so it's just really hard to get a team to go, oh, we do that, huh? So, and the way this tool came about, I'm so glad you like that tool. That's one of my faves too. So when I was a pure orange guy, dyed orange, EOS implementer, I had these clients that were like, and IDS is the tool, right? Identify, discuss, solve, roots. Like, great, right, should do that. And they would look at me like, hey, coach, how do you do that? Like, they didn't know how. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean you don't know how? Like, what's the symptom? Or what's the root of what's the issue? Blah, blah, blah. What's causing that? Crickets. Like, wait, so even going back to the guitar thing, so I actually have to teach them how to play the guitar?
Yeah.
Huh. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, so you own this band and you can't play? No, not very well. Oh, huh. So like, well, modulate from C to, E flat. Like, what's that? Oh, okay. Oh, all right. That's what we're dealing with, So anyway, what I realized that that I had to come up with. I actually had to teach people how to recognize the transition through an argument and help them self-facilitate. First, I had to facilitate, and then get them to self-facilitate, moving from, hey, we have this pain, this symptom, this history. Here's what happened. Here's why I'm frustrated. Here's my opinion. Here's how I feel. Great. Those are all symptoms. That's all. That's part of the S part in S.M.A.C.K. To, okay, so then if that's all those things, here's what happened. Here's how I feel, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, what's causing that? And that's what I don't see people do in arguments. Even in a relationship argument, like, hey, you hurt my feelings, or hey, I think you're this thing, or that thing is a problem, or I'm frustrated. Okay. Well, what's causing that frustration? Well, you're a jerk. Well, okay, so what's causing that? And to get to a root, to finally get to the place where you're like, let's keep moving back until we go, that's the root. This symptom, and from your practice,
Sure.
people dealing with symptoms all the time. Hey, doc, can you just give me some cream to rub on this thing? Like, no, it's not a cream issue. Like, yeah, we can treat the rash, but you ever heard of vitamin D? Or right, you got you have a root issue in your diet, or in your I use the word gizzard. I love that. Gizzard is my generic body part.
Anything internal.
Anything internal. So your gizzard is busted, right? So, but you got to fix the gizzard, quote unquote, to make the rash go away. And from there, really? And folks can't make that connection for some reason, generally. But you got to kind of teach them how. And so that's been really fun to watch you guys get good at navigating, taking your conversation and steering it from, oh, I think we're talking about symptoms. So what's causing that? And you guys kind of poke at each other, and you naturally just go right to the root, and pretty much go, well, so what are we going to do about the root? And you start assembling or assessing or gathering. And this is the A in S.M.A.C.K. Here's what we could do. Well, we could do nothing, or we could fire everybody, or we could, sell the business, or, you start coming up with potential solves to the root. And this is in an EOS modality. All right, well, let's identify the root, discuss the root, and solve the root. And I've just noticed that people can't do that very well.
They're used to treating the symptoms,
Yeah.
not the cause.
Yeah. Yeah, and basically they just want to go, I feel better now. Well, okay, but the root's still there. And so it's going to come back.